Okay, we're going to aim to broaden your musical horizons now by introducing you to an instrument that many of you may not be familiar with. It is called the gusli.
Resembling something between a harp and a guitar, the gusli is Russia's oldest musical instrument, but one which proves especially popular among young musicians. To tell us more, here's Primetime's Svetlana Kurakina.
The sound of these strings is often described as crystal. It's the sound of Russia's oldest musical instrument, gusli.
Gusli is considered to be a symbol of Russia's musical culture. Its sound was loved by both the peasants and the nobility. Tsar Ivan the Terrible even had a special band of gusli players at court, and so did Empress Catherine the Great.
The first descriptions of gusli appeared as early as the 5th century. The origin of the name remains unknown, although the word gusli is thought to have meant a bunch of strings. The instrument is usually compared to a harp, only it's held more like modern guitars. There are several types of gusli, with a varying number of strings, and Dmitry knows all about them.
This one's small. It's typically used by children learning to play. It has 12 strings. And the biggest gusli, typically used in concerts, has 61 strings. Making these instruments is a very creative job. Although some old tricks and routines are used, new lacquers and new techniques appear all the time. Things are always developing.
It takes Dmitry from 1 week to 1 month to make a gusli, depending on its size. After the instrument's body is made, it's covered with up to 20 layers of lacquer to become smooth and shiny. And then the strings are anchored. For each gusli, at least 7 different types of wood are used.
What you see here is a layer of redwood. Underneath it, there's a layer of maple, and for the edges, I usually use walnut or ebony. The instrument's top part is made of fir tree, and this border is decorated with rosewood and mother of pearl.
And the number of Dmitry's customers is growing. Nearly forgotten in Soviet times, this traditional instrument is making a comeback. More and more musicians like Pavel fall in love with its crystal sound. Pavel regularly performs at home and abroad, and gives gusli playing classes as well, a big hit with would-be folk music stars.
I initially studied to play the piano, but then I heard the sound of gusli and knew I had to learn to play it. And it's fairly easy to master. Maybe that's why it was so popular, and children like it so much, because unlike the piano or a violin, anyone can do it.
So just how easy is it? As long as I can place my hand on the strings correctly, I can give it a go.
Well, I'm being told that a mere 10 minutes are enough to get to grips with the basics. I don't actually play any musical instruments, but can I master this?
Striking a chord is simple, but I still think I'll leave it to the professionals, like Pavel, who prove that centuries on, the crystal voice of Russia's oldest instrument still strikes a chord with music lovers. Svetlana Kurakina, Primetime Russia, RT.